Hello students, welcome you all to this session. So in the previous session we had started with a new chapter called as phylum Cnidaria. Already you know BSc first semester zoology subject, you are studying about non-chordata, means the animals without backbone or the vertebral column are called as non-chordata. In that we had seen phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, their classification, life cycles with examples. And we also started with phylum Cnidaria, or also called as Coelenterata. So you know why it is called phylum Cnidaria or Coelenterata. Phylum Cnidaria because of the specialized cells called as cnidocytes or cnidoblast or stinging cells. And we also know that we have studied about general characters of phylum Cnidaria or Coelenterata. They are marine except Hydra, which is a freshwater form. The diploblastic tentaculate metazoans, you already know. Metazoa means animals, and for metaphyta we call plants under metaphyta. And we also seen that they have radial symmetry or sometimes superficially bilateral symmetrical animals. There are some are sessile, some are motile, some are living in colony, some are living in groups, that is colonies or groups are solitary, and a freshwater form, that is Hydra, we also seen. Then the most important characteristics is the presence of specialized cells called as stinging cells or nematocysts or the cnidoblasts, which help in the food gathering, capture of prey, and tentaculata means these animals have tentacles, especially Hydra, they have tentacles. And the most defining feature, important feature of this phylum is polymorphism. That again we will study the next session in detail about polymorphism. Polymorphism means existing structurally and functionally in two different forms, that is called as zooids. We have seen gonozoid, etc. So they are existing in two or more forms structurally and functionally. So they are called as polymorphism. Poly means many. So we also seen about the reproduction. They are reproducing both by sexual and asexual method. Sexual is by formation of gametes and asexual by budding. In Hydra you have seen. And we also seen different characters that diploblastic animals. Diploblastic means having two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm. In between there is a tissue or substance, jelly-like substance called as mesoglia. Then coming to coelomate, what is about body cavity? That's why they are called as coelentron. A body cavity is absent actually, but they have a gastrovascular cavity. You remember, they have a gastrovascular cavity for circulation as well as for food capturing, and respiration and excretion is by their general body surface. So many characters we had seen. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about the classification of phylum Cnidaria. Classification. This phylum is again divided into four classes. Phylum Cnidaria has four classes: Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa and Anthozoa. Once again, phylum Cnidaria or Coelenterata is divided into four classes: Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa and Anthozoa. Is based on the duration of polypoid and medusoid generations. Classification is based on what basis it is classified? Based on polypoid and medusoid generations. Remember this, polypoid and medusoid generations. Now you know these coelenterates have two body forms, polyp and medusa. Polyp is sedentary, it cannot move, whereas medusa is umbrella shaped, as in jellyfish you can see, the tentacles for movement. That we'll see later. So first we see the classification. It is divided into four classes. Class 1, that is Hydrozoa. We see the characteristics of Hydrozoa now. Hydrozoa, by looking at the name, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? That is, example is Hydra, Obelia, Physalia. These are all examples of class Hydrozoa. A Hydrozoa example is Hydra. You know what is speciality about Hydra is it is a freshwater form, because Most of the coelentrates are marine. They are found in marine water except hydra, which is a freshwater form. It includes both polypoid and medusoid in its life cycle. It includes both polypoid and medusoid stage in its life cycle. This is the life cycle of hydra in detail. You are not studying your syllabus, but if you study in higher classes, you will see that there are both stages, polyp and medusa, because actually tentacles are locomotory organs, but we can't say this animal is moving. But hydra, it is attached to a particular substratum. Tentacles are there. When it want to move, it will move its tentacle downwards and the lower part will be on the top, and the number of tentacles it will move. This is how different types of locomotion you find in hydra. That is second, we will see in studying example. Polyps are solitary or colonial. Polyps are solitary or colonial. Now, what do you mean by solitary or colonial? Solitary means they are found in single according to their what you can say adjustment to the environment or suitable conditions or favorable conditions. Some are living in solitary stage and some are living in colonial stages. Aquatic means living in water, mostly marine, a few fresh water, as I told just now. A very good example of freshwater coelenterate is hydra, means majority of the animals belonging to class Hydrozoa or phylum Coelenterata or phylum Cnidaria are marine, exclusively marine, except hydra, which is a freshwater form. Mesoglia. We have discussed about two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm. There is a tissue called as mesoglia, which is cellular or non-cellular, or you can say it is a jelly-like, that is cellular or non-cellular. Means it is made up of cells or it is made up of without cells. And as you know about the grade of organization in Cnidaria phylum, that is, it is having tissue grade of organization because there are no such organs in these animals. Next, a calcareous skeleton. Calcareous means what? Made up of calcium carbonate. A calcareous skeleton covers the body of most of the cnidarians. That is, see, calcareous, the name itself indicates calcareous means it is made up of calcium carbonate. Next, coming to gastrovascular cavity. See students, this is the most important feature. You know, actually the body cavity or coelom is absent, but instead of that they have gastrovascular cavity, which helps in digestion as well as circulation. See, name itself indicates gastrovascular. Gastro is for digestion, vascular is for conducting system. So it is used for both digestion as well as circulation. So it is called gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity is with gastric tentacles. See students, these many tentacles, all animals of this phylum have tentacles because they belong to Tentaculata. They have numerous tentacles, as you have seen hydra is used for locomotion, and those tentacles have stinging cells or cnidocytes or cnidoblast or nematocytes, since this phylum is named as Cnidaria. Next, nematocytes are found on epidermis. These specialized cells, where they are found on epidermis, found only on epidermis, on the outermost layer. As you have seen, epidermis here you find these stinging cells or nematocyst for the capture of prey, food gathering or defense mechanism. Next one, Phenomenon of polymorphism is common. Just now I told you, polymorphism means it is a phenomenon where the organism exists in two or more forms called as zooids. So it is called as polymorphism. So this process is common. Polymorphism is common in Cnidaria. In the next session, we will discuss in detail about the polymorphism. Just here I am mentioning the character of the phylum or the class Hydrozoa, that the phenomenon of polymorphism is common in phylum Cnidaria or Coelenterata. Next one, class Hydrozoa include about 2700 species. 2700 species of most primitive cnidarians. Primitive. What do you mean of primitive? What do you mean by primitive? Primitive means they are lower organisms, not as high as complex organisms. Primitive organisms. How many species are in class Hydrozoa? In class Hydrozoa there are 2700 species of most primitive organisms. Examples are, this is very important, Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, Allopora. These may be new terms to you. Sertularia. There are so many examples still, but there are some common examples. Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, Allopora and Sertularia are the examples of class Hydrozoa. So, phylum Cnidaria is divided into 4 classes. Today we are discussing about the classification of phylum Coelenterata or Cnidaria. That is, classification is based on polypoid and medusoid generations, whether the animal body is showing polyp stage or medusoid stage. So number 1 is Hydrozoa, as the name indicates, Hydrozoa. So example will be here the Hydra. It is a freshwater form. Remember this, freshwater form. Then Solitary colonial, mesoglea is present, calcareous skeleton is present. They have gastrovascular cavity with gastric tentacles. Nematocysts are found only on the epidermis, outermost layer. Polymorphism. See, all animals of this phylum exhibit a common phenomenon called as polymorphism. And class Hydrozoa includes how many number of species? 2700 species. Only in the class Hydrozoa, the animals are 2700. Examples are Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, Allopora, Sertularia. There are so many species are there, but some examples we have seen. So this is about the class Hydrozoa. Next we will go to class number 2, that is class Scyphozoa. Number 2, that is class Scyphozoa. Second one, class Scyphozoa. Class 2, first we have seen Hydrozoa, which is a freshwater form, and a solitary or colonial. An example, Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, we have seen. Next coming to second class, that is Scyphozoa, second class of the phylum Cnidaria. Here medusoid stage is predominant. Just see, medusoid stage is predominant, whereas in Hydrozoa we had seen they are exhibiting both polyp and medusoid stage. Now you can see the comparison between the characteristics of these classes. Here the medusoid stage is predominant. Here animal body is umbrella shaped. Animal body is umbrella shaped. If you see the animal called as jellyfish, Aurelia, there you come to know that polyp stage is umbrella shaped, or you can say bell shaped. Umbrella or bell shaped. All are marine. All are marine, is found in marine water. Solitary, free swimming or sessile. See here, we are discussing about general characters. Means there are so many number of species are there. So these are general characters of class Scyphozoa. It means that the organism belonging to this class may be solitary, or some may be sessile, some may be free swimming, and some may be attached to the substratum. They flow in cooler waters. They flow in cooler waters. Usually they are found in cool water bodies. As you have seen in previous that Porifera they are found in hot waters of Mediterranean Sea. Here they are found in cool waters. Mesoglea is thicker and cellular. Mesoglea, you know mesoglea now. It is cellular and thicker. Next coming to nematocysts are found both in epidermis and gastrodermis. The nematocysts or stinging cells or nidoplast. The hydrozoa they are found only on epidermis, but here in Scyphozoa they are found in both epidermis as well as in the gastrodermis. As in both on epidermis and in gastrodermis. Epidermis, endodermis, in between there is gastrodermis, in the cavity called as gastrovascular cavity. Gonads are endodermal in origin. Gonads. You know gonad, what are gonads? Gonads are the reproductive organs called as testis and ovary. So they are endodermal in origin. Endodermal in origin. So you know during the formation or development of embryo there is formation of 3 germ layers, ecto, endo and mesoderm, which are giving rise to various major organs in our body. So where the gonads are arising from, or gonads are endodermal in origin. Gametes are shed in gastrovascular cavity. Gametes are the sex cells. Male gamete is called sperm and female gamete is called egg or the ovum. They are shed in gastrovascular cavity. I have written in short. GB means gastrovascular cavity. Next, here polypoid stage is missing. Polypoid stage is missing, or you can say there is direct development by transverse fission or strobylation. By transverse fission, or it is also called as strobylation. If you study the life cycle detail, we study that reproduction there. Transverse fission or strobylation. Next, class Scyphozoa includes about 200 species. How many species? See, Hydrozoa includes how many species? 2700 species. In Scyphozoa we find only 200 species of quite large and brilliantly colored jellyfishes. Large, brilliantly colored, very colorful, brilliantly colored jellyfishes you find in class Scyphozoa. And up to, or true may you say, the largest jellyfish, which is the largest jellyfish, Largest jellyfish is Cyania arctica. Underline this. So I am underlining, the rules of nomenclature or writing the rules of scientific names. First name is genus name, written in capital letter. Second name is called species name, so it is written in small letter. Underline separately because it is hand written, so it should be underlined separately. You know the rules already. Cyania arctica, and it possesses tentacles up to 100 feet long. 100 feet long tentacles are present, so it is called the largest jellyfish. Examples are Aurelia pelagia. Aurelia pelagia are the examples of class Scyphozoa. Aurelia is nothing but jellyfish, commonly called jellyfish, Aurelia, and pelagia are the examples of class Scyphozoa. So second class Scyphozoa. Medusoid stage is predominant. Animal body is umbrella shaped or bell shaped. All are marine, solitary, free swimming, sessile. They flow in cooler water. Mesoglea is cellular and thicker. Nematocyst or the stinging cells, where they are present? They are present on the endodermis as well as in the gastrodermis, in the gastrovascular cavity. Gonads are present. Gonads are endodermal in origin. Gonads are the reproductive organs which are producing gametes, and gametes are shed in gastrovascular cavity. Polypoid stage is missing, that's why we call it as only medusoid stage is present. Transverse fission or by strobulation. How many species are there? 200 species are there, and they are largely brilliantly colored jellyfishes. The largest jellyfish is Cyania arctica, which is about 100 feet long. The tentacles of these are 100 feet long, and examples are Aurelia, pelagia, etc. So this is about second class, that is Scyphozoa. Now we will discuss about third class, that is Cubozoa. Class number 3, that is Cubozoa. All are marine. See, the next coming examples are marine because the fresh water is only Hydra belonging to class Hydrozoa. Remaining all are marine forms. So all are marine, found in tropical and subtropical oceans. Marine, found in tropical and subtropical oceans. Attached polypoid stage is present, and attached polypoid stage is present, which arises from planula. Planula is a larva, arises from planula, is a larval stage of Cnidaria. Medusa phase is long and dominant. Medusa phase is long and dominant in these animals. Next, medusae are squarish in cross section. Medusae are squarish. Squarish means they appear square in cross section. Medusa, as in the two forms are there, polyp and medusa. So here medusa stage is predominant, and that is squarish in cross section, means when you cut the animal body there is appears square, so it is called as squarish in cross section. As in Ascaris, it appears circular in cross section, so they are called as round worms. But these Cubozoa, the animals belonging to class Cubozoa, are squarish in cross section. Each medusa bears tentacles for locomotion. As they belong to tentaculata, the meaning of tentaculata means they are having tentacles for locomotion. As I told you in Hydrozoa, see the animal body is straight. it means that it is sessile or non-motile, you can say. But how it moves is, it moves its body downwards side, upside down. Tentacles come downwards and the lower body goes on top, and the tentacles, they start moving. This is how they move the body. So each corner of Medusa bears group of tentacles. There is a group of tentacles. Radial canals are replaced by four radial pouches. Radial canals are replaced by four radial pouches. Example for this cubozoa is Chironex. It may be new to you. Chironex and Chiropsalmus are examples of class Cubozoa. Marine, found in tropical, subtropical oceans. Attached polypoid stage is present, that is in planula stage. It is a larval stage. Medusa is long and dominant. Medusa are squarish in cross section. Squarish means they appear square in cross section. So this is about class Cubozoa. Next, coming to the largest class, that is class number 4, class Anthozoa. Class 4, that is Anthozoa. All are marine, as I told you, see, because only Hydra is freshwater. Remaining whatever animals class we study, they are all marine forms. Anthozoa, class number 4. So first one, class Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa, and last class, that is Anthozoa. Again same, solitary or colonial. Solitary or colonial, same characteristics, but mostly colonial. These are mostly colonial, live in colonies. They are exclusively polypoid. Polypoid means majority of them animals of these class are polypoid. Medusa phase is absent. Medusa phase is absent. The radial symmetry is modified. Radial symmetry. You already studied in a PUC in Animal Kingdom chapter, that is, the animals are divided into different types based on their symmetry. Asymmetry, radial symmetry, and bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry means the animal body can be divided into equal parts passing through any plane. Next, mesoglia is thin but cellular. Mesoglia, the tissue, it is thin and cellular, made up of cells. Gastrovascular cavity is divided into compartments. Compartments by complete or incomplete radial septa. Complete or incomplete radial septa, the gastrovascular cavity is divided. The mesenteries bear nematocysts. Mesenteries bear nematocysts. So nematocysts are present in all animals of Cnidaria because it is the most important or defining feature of this phylum, that is nematocysts or stinging cells, or you can say nidoblast, because so this phylum is called as Cnidaria. So it is the most defining feature of this phylum. They are present on mesenteries. and gonads also. Mesenteries bear both nematocysts and gonads. Gonads, you know, they are reproductive organs bearing gametes. Skeleton is either external or internal. Skeleton is either external or internal. Now, external exoskeleton, as in arthropods, they have exoskeleton, and we human beings have internal skeleton, so we call endoskeleton. So here these animals bear external or internal endoskeleton, made up of calcium carbonate. Skeleton is made up of calcium carbonate. Gametes are formed in coelentron. Gametes are formed in coelentron or the gastrovascular cavity. Fertilization is external. Fertilization is external. You know, fertilization, it is the fusion of male and female gametes. After sexual intercourse or after gametes are meeting, there is a process called as fertilization. You know that. So, the fusion of male and female gametes to form a diploid zygote is called fertilization. Depending upon whether it is taken inside the body or outside the body, it is divided into two types, external and internal. So, here the fusion of male and female gametes takes place outside the body. So, it is called external fertilization. Class Anthozoa has 600 species. 600 species of sea anemones, corals, sea fans. You know, corals you get a beach side, very beautiful corals are used for decorative purpose. Sea pansies. Sea pansies. So, Anthozoa class, they include sea anemones, corals, sea fans, sea pansies. Corals are very, very beautiful, beautifully colored corals are there. So, these are examples of class Anthozoa. Once again, all are marine, solitary, colonial, mostly colonial, exclusively polypod stage, because here medusa phase is absent. Next, radial symmetry is modified, mesogleithine and cellular, gastrovascular cavity has compartments with radial septa, skeleton, external or internal, made up of calcium carbonate, mesenteries have nematocysts and gonads, gametes are formed in coelentron, fertilization external, and class Anthozoa has how many species? 600 species like sea anemones, corals, sea pans, sea pansies, sea fans, etc. Now, we will go to class Anthozoa is divided into two subclasses. Now, class Anthozoa is divided into two subclasses. Anthozoa is a class because Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa, they don't have any subclasses, instead they have orders, but in your syllabus you are studying only up to classes level. So, class Anthozoa is again divided into two subclasses, that is Octocorellia. And number 2 is Hexacorellia. And Octocorellia. Example, Adamsia, Pennatula, Xenia, Zoanthus, etc. are the examples of class Anthozoa of subclass Octocorellia, Hexacorellia. Examples are examples of class Anthozoa: Adamsia, Pennatula, Xenia, Zoanthus, and so on. So, this is all about class Anthozoa, fourth class. General characters we have seen. How many species are there? 600 species of sea anemones, corals, beautiful corals are there, sea fans, sea pansies, and class Anthozoa is again divided into two subclasses, Octocorellia and Hexacorellia. Examples are Adamsia, Pennatula, Xenia, and Zoanthus. So this is all about the classification of phylum Coelenterata. So what all we have discussed today? We have discussed about classification of phylum Cnidaria based on polypoid and medusoid generations. On basis of polypoid and medusoid generations, phylum Coelenterata is divided into 4 classes: Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa and Anthozoa. We have seen the characters of each class, and you can differentiate now. You differentiate between the characteristics of each class. Then you come to know the specific characters, whether they are freshwater, marine, solitary, colonial, free swimming, etc. And Hydra, I told you, in Hydra there is locomotion. Actually they are sessile, we call sessile, but still they show locomotion. How it's possible is, I'll tell you once again, it's the body of Hydra and tentacles are there. These tentacles are moving, they are movable. Whenever they want to move, they bring their tentacles down and the body will go upside down, and tentacles they move. And whenever they get any favorable substratum, they become attached. Sometimes they move in circular way also. This is the body attached substratum, tentacles are there. It is moving down, again coming upside, again moving, again going outside. So they roll in circular form. This is how the different types of movement in Hydra. And the tentacles are there, gastrovascular cavity is there, nematocysts are there, stinging cells are there, which are very essential for locomotion, capturing of prey and for the defense mechanism. So this is all about the classification of phylum Cnidaria. And one more important characteristics of Cnidaria is, polymorphism. Already we discussed in the previous session. Polymorphism means they exist in 2 or more forms called zooids, gonozoids, polyzooids, then anthozoids. So many zooids are there, with examples we had seen. Again next session also we will study about polymorphism in corals in detail. Different types of polymorphism are there: monozoid, polyzooid, gonozoid, etc. So this is about the classification. And most important is skeleton. Skeleton is internal or external, means exoskeleton or endoskeleton, made up of calcium carbonate. Gametes, because your reproduction is both sexual and asexual. Sexual reproduction by formation of gametes, gonads are there. Asexual reproduction you find is by budding, exogenous budding, especially in Hydra. There is exogenous budding. Now, this is the gastrovascular cavity attached to substratum, and from here there is a cone like section. From here arises the tentacles, and here there are stinging cells, and there is formation of exogenous bud. This is the bud. It attached to parent body. Now when it gets matures, it detaches from the parent and grows into a new individual. You have studied in the reproduction chapter in first PUC or in second PUC you have studied about that. So structurally it is very small. As it develops, it detaches from parent and grows into new individual. This is Hydra. So today we have discussed about 4 classes: Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Anthozoa, Cubozoa. Notes will be given to you. Go to the classification notes with examples.